Welcome to Success and Beauty Radio Show, where your dreams, your life, and your inspiration count. Featuring your host, Charlotte Howard, award-winning hair artist, author, speaker, and beauty salon success mentor. Charlotte helps beauty salon professionals create an extraordinary career, business, and lifestyle using their God-given talents. Charlotte's guests will be sharing proven business, career, beauty, and lifestyle strategies to help you grow personally and professionally and put it into your personal and professional struggles. And now, here's your host, Charlotte Howard.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I want to let you guys know, I know it's really cold in a lot of places, and I want to let you know I am thinking about all of you out there. Just be safe. Right now, I am currently looking for collaborators, women collaborators on my Success in Beauty book for beauty experts. And it's a great way for beauty experts to gain visibility and to help put an end to the struggle that we are currently facing in the beauty industry. For you to learn more about the book and the project, you can go to www.successinbeauty.com. If you would like to connect with me directly, please feel free to reach out by going to www.thehairartistassociation.org. And on the page, you will see contact, and you can use the best method of contact that's available for you to reach me. Now, today, I have my very special guest, Dr. Jasmine Christensen, on the show with us. Dr. Jasmine Christensen is the founder of Healing Connections and Pathways. She started teaching and counseling while still on active duty in the USMC. She has accrued over 20 years of counseling and teaching experience. Empowerment and healing has been the main focus of her work with people in the U.S. and internationally. She has lectured at various universities and colleges, both nationally and internationally. She has the unique experience of working trauma-related counseling, specifically trauma-related therapy work on site at disasters such as 9/11 in New York City and others. The idea of using cognitive behavioral therapy has been something that Dr. Christensen has found useful with many clients, using various healing techniques to help her clients overcome obstacles, move forward, and become whole again in her main focus. So everyone, without further ado, please welcome Dr. Jasmine Christensen. Hello, Dr. Jasmine Christensen. How are you?
Hello, Charlotte. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
You're very welcome, and I thank you to your audience. I love them. I absolutely love them.
Thank you. Well, Jasmine, can you first tell us what inspired you to start your own business?
Honestly, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2004. And after struggling for several years, I realized that working for other people was not going to work. Nothing against working for other people. I think it's a fantastic way to earn a living. But when you have a chronic illness where you don't know what's going to happen the next day or the next week, are you going to be able to walk? Are you not? Are you going to have, have a raging fever or what? You kind of have to play it by ear quite often, and most employers don't really like that because, it makes them look bad. So essentially, I decided that I would get my advanced degrees and I would work for myself, and that's pretty much what I did. I had a couple of years where walking was the challenge of the day. So I thought, you know what? Well, I'm sitting here on my, fat backside. I might as well finish up and to put a couple of extra letters behind my name, so I did,
Absolutely.
And
That makes a whole lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. And I can definitely relate. When you're working for someone else, I definitely understand where you're coming from because, you have to, like if your kids get sick or anything like that, you have to call out because you want to take care of your family first. So,
oh yeah.
I definitely understand. How did you make the transition from Marine Corps into teaching and counseling?
Actually, it was kind of a natural shift. I was going through kind of some hairy moments there in the Marine Corps. Yeah, I mean, I loved being there. I was raised in the military. I grew up going from Air Force Base to Air Force Base around the world. Heck, my summer vacations were spent going to, Austria and Switzerland and the Netherlands. I mean,
oh, that's exciting.
It was. I mean, most kids grow up with a hometown. Most kids are in school with other kids, probably from kindergarten on. Not me. I went to about 20 different schools. So I learned, that wherever you were, okay, we're going to be here for, 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe, and you learn to fit in really fast. But, so, I mean, being in the military was kind of a normal thing for me. It was kind of a logical next step, especially for a young woman, early 80s. I had, dreams, I had fire, I had passion. I didn't have a whole lot of direction. But I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and cut to the chase and go join the military. So I did.
So were any of was your mom or your dad in the military also?
My father was, yes.
Okay.
He was in the Air Force, yes. In fact, I was born just outside the Army base in Karlsruhe, Germany, So, yeah, my late brother was born at the Army base in Heidelberg. I still have cousins and uncles over there. So, yeah,
So what did your dad think about you joining the Marine Corps and him being in the Air Force?
Well, Dad was always kind of, very quiet, very stoic, typical Midwestern farm boy kind of thing. And my mom was just going off the deep end. And she said, well, you're going to have to tell your father. You're going to have to tell your father. I'm not going to do it for you. Okay, Mom, yeah, chill, So Dad and I are having lunch at home one day. And I kind of broached the subject. I said, did Mom tell you about my decision? He went, yep. I said, and what do you think about that? He put down his food. He looked at me very sternly, and he said, do you honestly know what you're doing? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, okay, and started eating again, and that was it.
Well, that's because I trust your instincts and what you he felt comfortable with your decision.
No, not even. He kind of thought I was kind of airheaded and harebrained and just a typical girl. He had but at that point he knew that where I was going to lead me where I needed to be, and he knew that if I could survive it, I would be okay.
I definitely understand that. Now, because you went into the Marine Corps and then you transitioned into your business, what were your friends and your family thought about when you decided you were not going to be in the Marine Corps anymore and that you were going to start your own business?
Well, there's kind of a lot of years in between there. I didn't. It wasn't that quick of a transition because I joined the Marine Corps back when I was a very young pup of about 21 years old, and I'm 53, so there's a lot of years in between there. Joined the Marine Corps, got into my military specialty, was rock and rolling it, and got married, had a couple kids, had a personal tragedy. Got divorced, wound up being a single parent in the Marine Corps with 2 young ones in diapers. And when my contract was up, they basically said, okay, I know you want to re-enlist, but your next duty station is going to be Okinawa, Japan. I said, oh, great, not a problem. And they said, oh, but you have to find somebody to watch your kids because it's unaccompanied. I said, are you kidding me?
Oh,
And they said, no,
my.
you can't take the kids. It's 18 months. And I, talked to my family, talked to my parents. It was not going to happen. My mother basically said, there, you had them, you deal with them. I'm like, okay, alrighty. So I thought, you know what? That's absolutely, in a lot of ways, she's absolutely right. I chose to have my children. They did not ask to be born. They are my responsibility. So I thought, okay, I can do this, and that's what I did.
Your mom sounds like my mom, Jasmine.
Don't get me wrong. My mother is your typical German and can be very harsh and very cold and very cold-blooded. But when it was things like honesty and family choices, she did not pull any punches. And because she understood, having survived World War II as a small child, you don't always get a second chance. So therefore, don't screw it up and make the right choice. And this is what you're looking at. Move all the fluffy stuff out of the way and look at what's really the issue. And Mom's great about pointing that out to me, even now.
So you had to face a tough decision then.
I did. I had a choice between what was right and what I wanted. And those two were not that they were bad choices, but it was, I had my responsibility, and and I knew at that point of like, okay, I can make a career anywhere, and that's pretty much what I did. I went out into the workforce and got hired, and went into adult education, which I loved, and it saw me through quite a few things, and so yeah, I don't regret it.
Absolutely. Now, you've actually co-authored a chapter in Bold is Beautiful titled Be Bold Enough to Embrace Peace. Can you tell us more about that?
That one is kind of a little bit on a different spin. Everyone talks about being bold, and especially women, when we as women need to understand that, yes, being bold is good. And I'm sorry, I have dogs barking in the background because my husband's coming in the door. And but there are times in our lives when being bold and being hard charging and doing the whole grab up the old shotgun, Katie bar the door kind of thing doesn't cut it, because there will be life events where you have to be brave enough and bold enough to say, okay, I have got to face what's happening to me, embrace what's happening, as badly as it hurts. And then there's a split second after the wailing and sobbing and snot slinging and all those things, where there's just a split second of peace. And that's what you grab onto, and that's what you move forward with. And in that chapter, I first found it when I buried my infant son, when I was, beside his grave, and I was sobbing. I was absolutely, sobbing. And there was a moment, at first my mom didn't want to let me, cry. Oh, someone take her away. And my dad said, leave her alone. She has got to get this out.
Yes, absolutely.
And when it was over with, there was that moment, because I had looked over, and right on the very next row was my grandfather's grave. And my grandfather was everything to me as a child. And it dawned on me, they're side by side almost. Mm. And that brought me that moment of peace. And it was like, okay, grab this, because I still had 2 other kids in diapers I had to deal with.
Yes.
So, I had to get up. I couldn't stay in that black pit of despair. I had to get up. I had to function.
Yes, and sometimes if you keep it all in, it just makes it worse.
If it doesn't kill you, it will drive you insane. And I speak from experience. I found it again when my brother died. He was shot and killed. There's still some question as to what exactly happened, but that's the point. That's knowing the truth won't bring them back. Mm-hmm. And that was a time when, because it was just the 2 of us kids, and he was always my mom's favorite. And when he died, it literally just shattered her world. And she has stayed in that, time of not quite moving past that grief,
I mean,
And
it's hard
me,
for a
after
mom
everyone,
to have to go through that.
it is. It's probably the worst thing in the world. You never want to outlive your children. Because we as a society are prepared to bury our parents and our grandparents and even our brothers and sisters, but nobody prepares us for the burial of our children. And it's one of the most heart-rending things I would not wish that on a worst enemy. It's just that horrible.
It is. It is.
But I found that sense of peace again after my brother was buried, after mom and dad were taken care of. They're in Little Rock. There's a place called Pinnacle Mountain, and when I was home on leave from the Marine Corps, I would run up those trails up to the top of that up to the top of the bitty mountain. Great. In Arkansas, we really don't have mountains, okay? But it just barely qualifies. Just barely. But and that's what I did. I raced up that mountain as fast as I could. And when I got up there, of course, being, December and, cold and everything else, nobody else was up there, I had the opportunity to once again get the emotion out. I didn't have to take care of anybody for that moment. It was just me and the elements and the sky and God and, all that pain and anguish, and out it came. And again, at the end of it, there was that moment of peace of like, okay, I can do this. And you pick yourself up and you go back down the mountain,
Absolutely. So for those that are tuning in with us today, what type of advice would you give them as far as them dealing with a tragedy like you had encountered yourself? How would you suggest them to move forward with the challenges that they are currently experiencing in their lives? Give yourself time to grieve and know there's not a set schedule for it. Everybody grieves in their own way. Everybody comes to it in their own terms. I would strongly, very, very, very strongly recommend checking into any kind of a support group, because there is something absolutely magical about being in the same room with other people that have experienced what you've experienced. Granted, it is a private club that nobody wants membership in, but guess what? There you are. Yes.
And instead of saying, hearing all the other crap from other people, oh, I know how you feel. No, actually, you don't. Unless you actually walked in my shoes, no, you don't. But in order to heal, you need to be in with other people who have walked in your shoes. And there's just something about it where you just walk in and you go, hi. And, gosh, it's better than therapy,
Well, speaking of therapy, tell us more about cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yes, Dr. Aaron Beck created cognitive, well, he created it, but he is the father of CBT, he and his daughter. And they basically, that is probably, that I love it because I'm a very proactive person, and no joke, right? You could be, you could imagine me not being proactive, but yeah, I'm a very proactive person. I'm a problem solver. I am, if someone comes to me and goes, oh, I have this issue, I'm going to go, okay, have you looked at this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? No, really? Well, go try those and then come back, Cognitive behavioral therapy is a very proactive approach where you actually, between 4 and 14 sessions, you take that client and you teach them the tools and skills in which to face life again. And they have to be ready for the proactive work because it is work. And it's so much like life coaching, it's not funny. So for me, becoming a life coach was the next logical step. Because I'm not one of these kind of people that wants you sitting on my sofa paying my light bill for 20 years, droning on about what a bitch your mother was. I don't care, I really don't. My thoughts are great. You didn't like your mom. Get over it. Mom, you're 50. What can we do to help make this better? And if you're not ready for that, go see the guy down the street because I got things to do,
I agree.
That kind of is my attitude. And a lot of people go, "Oh, but you're so cold." No, honey, I'm honest. There's a difference. Well, like, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is real life. Come on. Put on your big girl panties. Let's go.
That makes a whole lot of sense. Now, you had just actually finished up with Bold is Beautiful. Are there any other books that you are currently looking at being a part of, or any other projects that you want to share with us today?
Well, actually, I'm kind of taking a small hiatus from things. I'm in Oklahoma currently, and I'm working with my husband, who is still working, believe it or not, but he has some very challenging health issues, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with that. But I am about 20,000 words into a work of fiction, and I've already had a talk with a publisher who is interested, and so keep your fingers crossed,
Yes,
for the next couple of months there may be an announcement on that. And it will be a romantic thriller, yes.
Well, I love romantic thrillers.
Well, I will send you a copy, sweetie. Trust me, I will.
I love good books, and so I will definitely look forward to reading it.
I will. Thank you.
Now, can you also share with us what a typical day is like for you?
A typical day. Oh wow, what's typical? Actually, a typical day for me usually starts with. Usually if I am in Benton, it is with my 125-pound puppy barking at me because I have deadbolted the patio door and he can't open it up and let himself out. Also with my 3-pound hellhound barking at him, not letting him up on the bed to try to wake me up. So he's got to be at the foot of the bed barking at me, and she's growling and snarling at him. And just the whole circus starts, and I kind of roll over, pull the pillow off from on top of my head, go, "Oh God, again? Okay, guys, come on," So at that point, I stagger over to the patio door, open it up, and of course they're all racing out. I have 4 dogs, and then as they're doing their morning routine, I crawl up the stairs, I turn on the kettle for coffee, and then of course right into, brushing my teeth because, oh God, at that point, looking in the mirror, I'm going, please mouthwash work, just, and at that point, after the face washing and the toothbrushing, then there's coffee, and then of course I'm checking my messages, and of course I've got my 125-pound puppy who is, he's a Shiloh Shepherd, and he's actually training as my service dog. He, knows how to open doors by himself. And that's why I have to deadbolt my patio door, because if not, at 3 o'clock in the morning, he's got the patio door open, and I've got, hairy possum over here, and maybe a raccoon over there.
Oh my gosh.
And not to mention the fact that it's freezing, and so, excuse me. But he understands to, when I give him a set command, he's actually tall enough that I can actually lean on him, and he helps me walk if I need it. He also picks things up off the floor. And when I get a little too wrapped up in what I'm doing in my office, which is on the main floor also, he will walk up to me very nonchalantly, steal things off my desk, make sure I'm watching him, as he just saunters out of the room with a pen or a folder or an envelope or whatever. At that point, it's, Mom, come on, Mom, get off the computer, get off the phone, come on,
So did you train him yourself?
And,
or?
Yes.
So is he the only one that's trained?
Yes.
Okay.
The 3-pound hellhound is actually a rescue. She's like a terrier chihuahua. I'm not quite sure what, but she is just a little petulant. she does weigh all 3 pounds, and she is just a little snot and will just bully him and badger him. And, but she was a rescue because the next door neighbors did not want her, so they were letting her run all through the streets by herself, hoping that she would run away. And I just cringed at that and said, okay, you don't want her, right? Well, no. Oh, you want her? I said, well, not really, but I'll take her,
Yeah.
Because she's just a gorgeous little thing. And then, of course, we have the 5-pound purse rat that actually rides in my purse. She is, she's a Chihuahua Italian Greyhound mix, and she's got the perfect body of an Italian Greyhound, but only weighs 5 pounds.
Wow.
And she has, has a really close, almost like a suede coat, not really fur, but almost like suede. And so she has like sweatshirts and sweaters and little coats and things because she gets cold really easy. And she loves to ride in my purse. So she is Jackie O, the purse rat.
That is so cute to see the little ones in your purse.
Yeah, and of course I've got big purses. I've got to have room for my tablet or my laptop. My phone. 5 pounds of makeup. No, not really. I really don't wear much makeup, but there's still maybe 5 pounds of makeup in there because I want options.
Yes.
3 lipsticks. A blush too. Eyeshadow. 3, 4 eyeliners. A mascara or 2. Whatever.
So with your other ones, are they? So you have 2 small ones, and then you have the other 2. Are they bigger dogs?
Yeah, Johnny is actually my 125-pound puppy. He actually does weigh 125 pounds, and he stands 32 inches at the shoulder. And you're thinking, oh my God, monster dog. Yes, kind of, but I'm a tall lady. I stand 5'11". And
wow.
I'm able to. I love height. I can rock me some high heels now, And some of my friends go, how can you stand, wearing those all day? One thing, I don't, Secondly, when my husband is gracious enough to take me places, the whole idea of the high heels is to walk in looking gorgeous, have a seat, cross your legs, and stay there. You only get up to, go to the bathroom,
Yes.
But you look fabulous the whole night, hey, and your feet don't hurt. And like me, you aren't falling off of them, and people going, oh, she's drunk, No, actually, I'm not. I have MS. I fall a lot,
Yeah. So what's your favorite thing to do in your spare time then?
Oh God, I love swimming. I love to take my dog down to the river there in Benton, and just either watch him play in the water or get in the water with him. I think at best it's usually only about waist deep on me, So, and it's like 5 minutes from the house. Another thing would be to drive down the road and just look at all the landscape that's going on. Arkansas is so rich, and even over here in Oklahoma, we're still part of the Greenbelt, so we have, hills and small mountains and oak trees and farmland, and it's very diverse. And where I'm at right now is we have 8 acres, which is kind of like part of Eagle Mountain. So it's a little bit of a nature preserve. It's all hardwood trees. And I like to go out and sit by our creek. My husband and son years ago put together like this beautiful, rock-lined area that's fairly clear. It's close to the creek we have on the property. And, there's table and chairs out there, and I can just sit and just enjoy. And it's so peaceful.
Yes, I like being outside sometimes too, especially just seeing all the different things that's going on, with all the birds and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Right, because up here we've got deer, we've got quail, we've got foxes, we've got bobcat, we've got coyotes. You name it, we've got it. So yeah,
it's like, look out.
Well, they're all pretty much, they pretty much don't bother me, and I don't bother them, but I love watching them walk up and take a drink and then scoot off,
That makes sense.
There's just something beautiful about that, I mean, deer, I don't know about South Carolina, but here in Oklahoma, deer are big. They will knock the alignment out of the front end of your car. I mean, I'm not playing. They're the size of ponies, if not bigger.
Oh, yes.
They are big.
That happened to me when I was on our road coming home, and the deers they'll just come out of the middle of nowhere, and sometimes they come out when it's still almost daylight, and I was even shocked to see that, because I didn't think that they would come out at that time, but they come out in my backyard.
Oh yeah, usually because we've got a big area that we have a lot of the undergrowth still there, and they will bed down there, and unless a dog has just been, that's pretty much where they stay, but usually I don't see them moving around unless a dog is trying to run them or something,
Absolutely. Well, can you?
But yeah, so there's no telling,
Can you also tell our listeners how they can get connected with you and learn more about your books, and also keep up with what you have going on also? Well, I have my Facebook business page, which is Healing Connections, and it's the only one. So I'm thinking www.facebook.com/Healing Connections ought to be it. If not, they can find me on Facebook. Jasmine.Christensen1 is my Facebook ID. They can hook onto my business page from there also. My author page is www.jasminechristensen.wix.com/success books. God, that's a mouthful. And of course, there's the Google Plus, which is also Healing Connections. Twitter, they can find me under Jasmine Christensen. So yeah, yeah, I'm out there. Everywhere, Jasmine.
LinkedIn, also, Well, you know what? You kind of have to be. And I know that my sons are grown now, and they tease me, go, "Oh God, Mom, you're addicted to the internet. You're on there all the time." But yet, if you look over my shoulder, I'll have a Facebook tab open. I'll have a Google Plus tab open. I will have a LinkedIn tab open. I will have, all these business things going on, and they're going, "Oh gosh, you're no fun. You're working." I'm going, no joke. Really? You think?
Well, it is fun being able to be on social media and connecting with people like you and even though we're in different places, it's amazing to be able to connect with you, and you're all the way across the other side of the world.
Well, not currently. I'm actually still in the U.S. right now. Hopefully, I'm hoping to spend my birthday in India. If I can sweet talk my husband into it, if we can get his health issues resolved, then yeah, we will be spending my birthday in India, because he and I have toured there once before, all through the South, and we're hoping to hit Rajasthan this time. So that would be absolutely awesome. Yeah.
So what's been the most favorite place that you've been, that you've traveled since being in the military and just enjoying yourself?
Every place is my favorite place, because every place is unique. It has its beautiful parts as well as its bad parts. So I can never say that there isn't a place that I haven't enjoyed. They're all unique. They all have history. They all have beautiful people, wonderful food. And yes, I love food, okay? My motto is, if it's not moving, I'll probably eat it. So yeah,
Yes, I think we all love to eat, Jasmine.
It's just, we go to a beautiful place in Little Rock that is called Star of India, that they make just, I walk in and his wife already knows she wants mango juice and my husband wants his thing, and then offer various specials, and I'll just look at the owner and go, "Surprise me." And I've never regretted it, because it's always been fabulous.
Yes, I have to try that mango juice.
Oh, I love it. It is wonderful. And for an upset stomach, definitely papaya is the way to go.
Mm.
I mean, that will knock down some heartburn and acid reflux faster than anything.
Yes, I definitely. I mean, I suffered with acid reflux a lot when I was pregnant, and um,
Yeah,
I had a tough time with that.
yeah. I had to learn the hard way. If it's not organic yogurt or ginger ale or ginger tea, then by all means, the papaya is actually my preference. But a lot of times it's hard to find. Um, but I usually tell people, and see, I suffer. Believe it or not, as well traveled as I am, I suffer from motion sickness.
Oh
Even still.
no!
And
Yeah.
so I keep peppermints in my purse, and I keep uh, ginger tea packets
Mm.
in my purse. So all ways of like, because it doesn't matter where you go. Say, okay, stop, pull over. I need a break.
Yeah.
And hot water and some tea. So yeah.
Yeah, my daughter was just telling me about the peppermint for settling your stomach, and I looked at her like, really? Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't
yes,
sure.
it
Yeah,
actually does work. Those little red and white candies, believe it or not, will calm down your stomach.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what she was eating. I was like, oh wow. And here, I mean, I just thought that when you mentioned that, I said, oh wow, well,
Oh,
and
honey,
she
you
just
are
started.
talking to a kid that, oh, you are talking to a kid that had to survive entire summer vacations touring Europe on warm tea and toast because, if we went around a corner too fast, I was puking, okay? I mean, so, yeah, I mean, it just never went away. And I mean, it's gotten better, but it's still there. And since the MS has come on, and with the vertigo attacks, it really can just pop out of nowhere. So I usually try to travel prepared.
That makes a whole lot of sense, and um, it's easy to pack that in, when you're traveling along too.
Oh, definitely, definitely, and and I always tell people, know where you're going, and not just the end point, but know where your layovers are going to be, know what the airport's like, know what's available. That way you can scout out. Okay, I know that there's X, Y, Z around here somewhere, so I can grab this. You know,
But I
and
haven't
always.
flown yet though, and I know you've
Oh,
flown all
really?
over. Yes, I haven't yet. I have to though.
Oh, well, believe it or not, I flew the first time when I was probably 6 years old.
Oh,
But actually the first time I came to this country, my dad got transferred back to the U.S. after being in Germany for a number of years. And we actually came across on a boat on an Army transport ship in the Atlantic in February. So yeah, I actually, people joke about that. I'm like, yes, I came across on a boat. It wasn't yesterday, but yeah.
that is funny. Well, before I let you go, Jasmine, can you share with our listeners 3 tips for them to move forward with pursuing their dreams?
uh, have a clear picture in your head, okay? Because if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there. Just saying, oh, well, gee, I want to make money. Who cares? I mean, everybody wants to make money, all right? Figure out what is your dream. What makes you want to get up in the morning? What would you do if nobody paid you to do it and you still do it? That is what follow your dream. Secondly, don't get everybody else's opinion under the sun. Their opinion doesn't matter. What they think of you is not your business, and they're not living your life.
Hmm.
You do what is right for you, okay? You have a moral compass. If you're not familiar with it, install one. I mean, come on. We all know what's right and wrong. We all have morals. We all have ethics. And when you come to those hard choices, figure out what can you live with. What can you live with? What end result can you live with if you had to make a choice right now and you were uncertain of the outcome? What potential can you live with? And then go from there. And thirdly, get up in the morning and, get up in the morning and be grateful. Be grateful you're alive. Be grateful you're breathing. Be grateful you have a 3-pound hellhound barking at you, and being an obnoxious little brat. Be grateful for those things because they're wonderful and they're beautiful. And life doesn't have to be that hard.
Yes,
how's that?
What you've just shared is so many people right now that are still facing those challenges, and I really appreciate you sharing those tips, because I know me personally, when I got started with my business, I didn't have anyone to guide me when I got started, and I would always ask everybody else's advice, and until I'm working and I'm doing hair and all of that, and I got injured,
right?
And so it made me have to really think quick on my feet, and being passionate about, like you mentioned, when you find that passion, it's like you'll drop everything as long as you're happy doing what you love. That's what you should, and
Exactly.
I definitely agree with you.
Oh yeah, and and a lot of people go, oh, but I'm not making money. Who cares? Get a day job, pay the bills, put food on the table, but then keep doing what you love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Make time for what you love. Feed your soul.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
Oh, definitely. And you and I are going to have to talk, because I love your profile picture on Facebook, and I realize that you and I have kind of the same hair, because I've actually added a lot more blonde in mine. And you need to put out a bunch of tips for women 50 and up on makeup and skincare. That would be phenomenal, because there's a bunch of us.
You do not look your age, and that's just like I mentioned, Kim. You ladies look so young. I want to look as young as you ladies look when I get that age.
Well, you know what? I'm sure Kim will probably agree with me. Have a lot of fun and just smile.
But thank you so much. I hopefully I'll get to meet you in person, and then I'll come out and I'll fix your hair and all that. I love doing that stuff.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Cameron, woohoo. Yes. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been amazing. I've loved talking with you. It's been great.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, and I hope that you'll come on again in the future.
Anytime, just ask. I will be there.
All right. I'm going to do
it. You got it,
Thank you, everybody.
Are you interested in appearing on Success and Beauty Radio Show? Do you have breaking news? Charlotte wants to hear from you. You can contact her at www.thehailartistassociation.org. We will see you next week, same day and time.